we're
back.
here.
What's happening?
Hello and welcome to our Seminole State family and subscribers around the world, over hundreds of subscribers, to another research rally. Hey, your keywords need work, and we are your keyword coaches.
Yeah, we just had a bunch of, where did our music go? It just dropped a little bit. We had a bunch of IDS classes that just started, the first year flight path, for a 12-week session. So, all right, Ross, I'm going to do a quick shout out here of all the professors. Ready? We got Bookhorn, Cornwall. Did it happen?
I think you got most of them.
Yeah, let me slow down a little bit. We got Buckhorn, Coleman Foster, Cuomo. Dr. Cuomo has two. Mendoza, Rosa Alvarez, and Salikova Cervantes. Those are the classes that I'm in for the 12-week IDS.
Yeah, and I have a couple. If you happen to be in Paulina Ruff's class, Dr. Ruff, I'm working with her, and Professor Lemur too. So.
Yeah, great. So welcome. So hi to everyone. We will be your librarians, Nicole,
hey,
Jason, and Ross. Yes.
Where's our little thingy doos?
Okay, so the thingy doos, everyone, just so you know.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, it's not. Oh, wait. It's not showing our names, but I think it's because I don't know. Why is it not showing our names? There we are.
I don't know. Yeah,
Problem solved.
Thingy doos. Look it up, dictionary.com.
Information Jason.
There we go.
Library Ross Martin. So
hello.
We have two watchers. So y'all comment in the chat. We want to make sure that we get your credit if you're in one of these IDS classes that Jason and Ross mentioned. So definitely chat us up. If you have questions during the session today, which is about keywords and all things in that neighborhood. Okay, yeah. So we're gonna help you get some score some winning search results. Okay.
Yeah, and as you're getting into again, this is directly for the IDS students taking that first year flight path course. Do take a look at your calendar, take a look at the course syllabus, and map out what you need to do major assignments wise from now until the end of the term. And I guarantee you, if not in this course, in any of the other courses such as ENC 1101, or maybe you're taking astronomy, or maybe you're taking history, you will have to do a research assignment. Or maybe you're taking speech, you still have to do some research. And so that's what we're talking about today. Research on what? Well, we'll have to pick a topic. Hi, Renisha. We see you there.
Yeah, hey.
We got you. I think we got a return customer there. Renisha was there last time. Rock and roll. Great. So if anyone else is watching, just drop your name in the chat there, and we'll make sure to correspond accordingly. We want to make sure that this is participatory. And what do you think, Ross? Should we look at the library databases, or let's do some Google? Let's let me give you
big picture there. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me give you in the chat. I'm going to just drop a whole bunch of words, and we're going to see if we should go into Google or if we should un-Google. And what we want to do is we want to pick apart keywords that'll help us in our search. So here's something that I came across. I wanted to find out a little bit more about this information, Ross. I'm going to drop it in the chat here.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty deep topic there. Lots of ways you can explore that.
Okay, so if I'm putting something, let me even put it on a banner so we can see.
We got it. I got it highlighted.
Oh, yeah,
perfect.
Okay, so we have a lot of different things on here. I'm going to pass the mic over to you then, Ross. What do we do with this? Do we just drop this whole thing in a Google search?
Sure.
And hit enter?
Well, that's kind of the beauty of Google, right? Is we could do that. Google is very, very good at making sense of a mess. So that's a lot to deal with there, but we could do that. That works pretty well in Google. So let's try it. I mean, that's a big part of what searching is kind of trying it and seeing what happens and seeing what you learn from it. So if I was to jump over here and share my screen, what I would do is let's start at Google. And if my topic was just that exactly as it's stated there, I don't know if it's going to let me copy and paste very easily, but we can just type it out. Racialized, border violence.
And I'm going to do the same thing, and I suggest everyone who's watching do the same thing. We can all try to play.
And Ross, I think even if you spell one of those words wrong, Google is going to, help you out.
That's
right?
true.
You guys actually spell words correctly during Google searches? Like, get out of here. No way.
See, and that's sort of the beauty of using Google, right? Is Google's this amazing research tool that knows how to make sense of stuff that may not even be very obvious and clear. And we can take that whole sentence and put it into Google, and Google is going to know what to do with it. Like if I'm looking at my results here, I can start to see that they're all pretty well on topic. They're talking about the Dominican Republic. That was part of my topic here. And they're talking about Haiti and Haitians. Okay, I think we're going the right way. I'm not exactly sure what, how the border violence and this other stuff came in there, but I can start to see, this article's talking Black residents and maybe the history of racism against them. So Google did a very good job of kind of pointing us in the right directions. We didn't really have to worry about these keywords too much.
And also, Ross, to jump in, when you're scrolling down, you can denote that the bold words, those are going to be the ones that pop, right? So you can see racial, right? So that's what's going to come in there. So even racial, and the one below that is not racialized, but at least the kind of the root word came up, yeah?
Right, yeah. Google knew how to make sense of that. They knew that when we put in, racialized, racial borders is probably very similar, if not exactly the same as racialized borders. And Google knows how to do that for us.
Google knows. We know.
That's why I'm a Google girl.
Yeah, I'm a Google girl.
And it's filling in a lot of the blanks. And when we get to the databases, this is why we're pointing this out, because y'all are going to see it's different. It's a little bit different. So go ahead, Ross.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great example of how to interpret a Google result too, because they're going to point you to what they think you want there. It may not be exactly what you're looking for there, but Google uses a very complex search system to connect you with these things. Like it's trying to think for you in a way. It's anticipating what you need. Which is good in some respects. I mean, like I always look at it like my mom, right? Like she loves Google because she doesn't really have to put much effort into her search to find information. But when we start getting into this academic research, this, having this guided search for us may not be exactly what we want if we're looking for, evidence to help inform us.
Right, and one thing that we're looking at, Ross, just to jump in here, if you put something in the search bar like you did and you hit enter, as you're looking at these titles, the names of these articles, you can actually start to read the history just by taking a look here and cross-referencing the dates. So the one where your cursor is on now looks like 2015. So we could see that something happened then. And so as we flash forward now, the top one above that and the one below was 2021. So something must have happened in those years. And in fact, we can fill in the blanks because we have that information there. So you could start here just to get that frame of reference, especially if you don't know the topic well. But I would keep in mind the discrepancies of those dates there, 2015 to 2021. What happened in between, if anything? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, and to jump on what Jason was saying there too is like I think it's a really astute idea when you're starting out a topic to run some Google searches like this, just to kind of get the lay of the land and figure out what angles might I explore here? How do I describe this topic?
Yeah, there might be vocabulary involved with your topic that you literally weren't even aware of before. So you might not get your source from Google, but it at least gives you some more vocabulary to search in the databases.
Exactly.
Yeah, and as you keep scrolling down, let's see, even below, where's the Washington Post article? You see something about a massacre. You just start piecing things together and you start seeing a history of what's going on in these particular keywords, right? So, I mean, you could swap out keywords and do this with any one of your searches. Also, notice there in the one that you have right there, keep it there, Ross. Notice how many cited bys, you have. Compare that, I like to say with the students, is kind of like your Instagram likes, right? If you're going to get a really fire picture with 20 million likes, okay, well, that's one way of evaluating it. But if you look on there and nobody is citing the article, and then the next article has 1 million sites, I think I might want to take a look at that other article that has 1 million sites, right? That means that all those other folks used the information from that article in their assignments wherever they are. So you could see where was that number 87 versus a 10, and then take a look. Right, so that's Duke University Press. That's going to be a legitimate, credible, reliable source, and so we're also evaluating as we're learning. So the brain is working. It's all happening. All right, so now if we scroll back up, what happens? Okay, so what do we have? 1.12. Okay, and a lot of zeros. Now, can we trim out some words? Because today's topic is keyword or keyword coaches. So what do we do here? And we're talking about the racialized border violence between the Dominican Republic and what's the rest of my thing? Okay.
And Haiti.
And Haiti. Okay. So clearly, even from that, something's going on. But what is it? Where did it come from? Where is it at now? How did it start? There's a lot of blanks that need to be filled in. So what can we do?
Well, I mean, so you raised something here that I wanted to mention really quickly here. When we're talking about keywords, even in Google's going to ignore some of these words. And we saw it when we put in racialized. It changed it to race because well, I think you mean this word here. But there's also some words in our search right now that I have a suspicion that if I was to just get rid of them altogether, we would probably find pretty similar results here. Like words like between and probably don't make much difference to my search, at least right now. Because if I was to get rid of those words from my search, I wonder if I'm going to find a different set of numbers. Like we have 693,000 things, but if I get rid of those 2 words, I found a lot more. Now that could be a lot for a lot of different reasons there, but if you notice, the same main articles came up at the top there. Because those words like between and the, they don't really mean a whole lot to your topic. So as you're choosing these keywords to use for your, like, you can start to think about those main ideas behind your topic. Excuse me.
No problem. And if you trim some of that stuff off, let's just even what I would suggest doing, let's see Dominican Republic and Haiti, because we know now we've flashed into the future. We know that something's going on, but where did it start? So if we just use both of those 2, well, in fact, it'd be 3 words, but the 2 countries, how many results? So we're at 1.370. Now we've gone through the roof, right? We've gone through the roof. And so now we can actually, it's interesting, Ross. I did Haiti, Dominican Republic, and my results are completely different.
Oh, no kidding.
We're nerdy librarians. This excites us. So as you're looking there, I had completely different results. Now I'm on the same as yours. Okay, yeah. So when you flip it, you'll see.
Yeah, I did.
Map. Yeah,
Interesting how that worked.
Right?
But it still brought us back to the relations and the border. There's even a Wikipedia article about the border. So, like, okay, I feel like there's something to work with in this topic. There's even videos and all sorts of stuff there.
And again, let's take keep it right there, Ross. If you could scroll down just a smidge. Keep the information as it comes. Let's look at the map. Yeah, we're going to see that is a piece of land, and there's going to be a divide, right? I mean, there's going to be something going on. So now I know where Haiti is, and now I know, okay, Dominican Republic. Great.
There's a very clear border, yes.
Yeah, and there's probably some fight over land. There's not a new sort of thing on the planet Earth. So, but as you're scrolling down, you can also use Google to help you because there's some questions there. People ask, what is that? Why is it split? Okay, great. Well, maybe that can help us get to where we're going. What's the source for that, Ross?
For why is it split there?
Oh, it goes back to Wikipedia. Wikipedia and Google, there's got to be, a marriage there somewhere because the first couple of results are usually going to be Wikipedia. And we should do a whole topic on a whole research rally on Wikipedia, the benefits, the pros, and the cons.
I'm sure we will.
If you scroll back up, I like to stay on there for like a million years. The article dropped down.
Oh, down with the question.
Yeah, I do see a date. Don't I see a date? I saw the word dispute and the date. So I like to skim everything really quickly and then I go back to it. But I do see some stuff in bold. I see 17th century and I see 1697 into 2 colonies. So I have established a brief sort of snapshot on what happened. And if it's Wikipedia, I would check my assignment criteria to see if I can use that information in my assignment. If not, I still learned this information. Okay, I can cross-check it with something else to make sure that at least 2 sources are doing it if I want to corroborate that. But let's take a look at that information. The political division of okay, so Hispaniola, boom. Now I'm also putting keyword possibilities into my keyword basket. This is a keyword basket.
Exactly.
And this is a tennis racket. Okay, so Nicole, I'm hitting here's a volley. Here. Wait a minute. Nope. It's not working as the computer.
Hey, speaking of volleying, shall we volley over to the databases? We're at a halfway point, fellas.
Whoa,
Sure.
let's do it. Let's volley
Or
over.
Keyword coaching over the.
But what Jason just said is really important there, because
Thank you, Ross.
that word Hispaniola is a word I would not have come up with on my own based on those two things there.
Tuck it away. And by the way, we weren't talking about Europe before. I see European struggles now, and we're talking about the New World. So now we're coming over, and we're talking 17th century, mid-late 1600s, right?
So,
and Spain and France and Spain there. Yeah, I'm just reading what you got there. Yeah, and with the island and the two colonies. Okay, great. So I'm sure the folks there said, wait a minute. This is ours. And the other folks said, wait a minute, it's ours. And so that's kind of where we're at now, right? Yeah. I mean, that's usually the way that land fights go, right? It's ours. No, it's ours. Let's fight. And then whatever happens, happens, right? But now we're getting a little more information. Why? Because the very beginning, let's see, do I still have the prompts? I don't have the prompt anymore. But the prompt was,
here's the prompt.
Yeah, let's see the prompt. Got it. And you could see there, right? We could see the back part of it, but what's the racialized border violence? And what is the border violence? We haven't really gotten into that. So now I would probably drill down a little bit more onto the violence. I think we have a little bit of an idea on what the origins are and how it got there. But Nicole's right. Let's hop skippity scap. Let's go over to the.
All right, are we doing your screen share?
Sure, we could do that. So I'll drop the link into the chat here. And by the way, we do have a little different kind of background music today. Our background music sponsor is brought to you by that band. So if you like that band,
open source rock.
Yeah, there you go. So let's just let it, there we go. A little bit of a, there it is. If you just, and it just keeps going. So go out and buy their CD. And if you don't know what a CD is, go stream their MP3 on their 8-track and their record and their LP and their vinyl.
I get on the LimeWire.
There you go.
You'll spend all day. You'll spend all day to get one track.
That's right. There you go.
You won't have to pay for it though.
Yeah. What was the other one called?
Napster.
Yeah, get Sean Fannery on the line or whatever his name was. Okay, so we've just taken a little delve into the old school there, into the old
practically into the 1900s.
Yeah, that's the way we used to listen to music, and we liked it in our ears. Okay, so we're
if you've never smelt the booklet from inside a freshly opened CD compact disc, I'm sorry, but you haven't lived.
Or the vinyl. I mean, there used to be something called liner notes for you.
Yeah,
okay, all
right.
We digress.
We'll digress.
Okay. So we're at seminolestate.edu/library. Let's see what happens. I'm going to go back and just grab the other. You stop sharing my screen for 1 sec, Nicole. I'm going to go back to the other thing here. There we go.
Intermission.
Okay, I'm back. All right, let me take the exact same prompt on seminolestate.edu/library and let's see what we get. Same prompt, word for word. You put any of your keywords into Primo, which is the library's version of Google, right? It's our search engine. Whoa, nothing found? Wait a minute. Wait. Whoa, nothing found. Okay, let's see what's going on here. We don't want to put the library databases on blast. We do have a library chat. It's available 24/7, right? So at this moment, we don't need that. You could sign in to get complete results. I do encourage you to sign in. You want to use our SSO, which is single sign-on. Okay. Now let's take a look and see what the deal is here. Oh, love that song. Wow, there's nothing going on. So this is a great example. Not that the librarians are dumb, but a great example on why there's so many keywords here that we don't necessarily need, which is kind of what we're talking about. So I do want to kind of go back in here, and maybe I want to get rid of this. I'm going to do it on my own for a minute. Go here. Okay. I think I really want to find out about the violence between the Dominican Republic and Haiti. And as we've established, we know there's a border. So we can assume that something's going on there in the border and that. Okay. So see what the deal is. Set our search, see what it is. I don't know what this is, by the way. Okay. So 65 results. Now, to this point, violence is coming up, and domestic violence isn't what we're looking for. Women's activism, I'm not particularly sure. So did I cut off too many words despite my face?
Yeah, we might need that word border in there somewhere.
We
Oh,
also
man.
could go into advanced search and stipulate like which word we want where, which I don't know. For this, I mean, I don't know if we need that yet.
Okay, so we're taking a look here.
These would all be
We have
subject
different suggestions.
words.
This
Subject
one is
headings.
coming in. This is the Haitian-Dominican Republic border,
Border.
and I do see violence, and now I
Violence.
see female sex workers experience. So maybe there's something going on with substance abuse, sex workers experiences, and I do see that this is 2020. So I'm just going to keep that in mind for a moment. Now, I do find a video is the second one, and you can make that differentialization.
Differentiation.
Differentialization.
Oh man, we should be on
Yeah,
top
yeah,
of it
yeah.
with the
Not
keywords.
right.
but-
That's not
We
right.
did it.
Differentialization, I don't think is correct. So here's a video, but it's from 2004. So this Frontiers video would give us a good sort of, again, frame of reference on what the content and the topic is that we're working with here. Now, what's this? Now, we looked at dates earlier, but I did not recall a 1937. Okay, and so now we see a Haitian massacre, and this is from 2002. So I'm starting to learn, and this, by the way, gives you a little snapshot. Let me try to read it really quick. Contemporary issues in the Haitian-Dominican relations that marked a... Okay, so this is probably good. It's a peer-reviewed article. It's been reviewed by peers in the field, experts in that particular discipline. But folks, is this what we're looking for?
Well,
Yeah,
massacre
we-
falls under violence, so you know it could be like the spot that we're looking for. It could be.
Now, once again, here's the full, okay, racialized border violence between the Dominican. So I'll throw it back to you. We're not getting anything here. So
Maybe I don't know. Maybe we even need that word race in there somewhere if we want to focus specifically on that type of violence.
Or what are like
I don't
maybe
know.
it's we could try like some other words for like race, like ethnic. I don't know if like that might, like some of the things that kind of touch on that area, some synonyms more or less, or just breaking down the word race instead of racialized, race, racial.
now watch.
Remember, this is what we do with students all the time. Like we
Right.
are experimenting and trial and error as much as you are. So this is part of the process. Research is strategic exploration.
Yeah, this is
Did I get
good.
that right, guys?
It's a great way to put it, Nicole, because this is the challenge. But this, I don't see this as a bad. I see this as actually kind of fun. I'm a librarian, so now I'm going to go back to
This
the
is what we
original
get paid
thing. Okay, but now I want to maybe put in at the very beginning. Let's go back. What if we saw results and it was like this? What if it was Google Scholar?
Ah.
No, they don't like that whole thing. They don't like
Well,
it.
you can do where is it in tools? You can pick like where's Google, or we just go to Google Scholar. There's
Yeah,
a couple of
typically.
ways to get to it.
Okay, so Google Scholar, we're doing all this in real time, friends. So here's
Uh-huh.
scholar.google.com. And now again, we want to kind of take a look at this. And we're talking about keywords. So do we use all the keywords? We had good results on the regular Google. And so now we're looking at Google Scholar, which is another sort of layer of Google that I would encourage you to look at, with the caveat, with the asterisk of look at your assignment criteria and have the conversation with your grading professor. You don't want to find all these resources and they say, no, you can't use those. And I told you explicitly in the syllabus that you can't use those. But let's take a look back here. Here's racializing. This is Taylor and Francis, 2006. Race and ethnicity in Dominican Republic, 2001. That's a book. Okay. Coloniality. We're learning some new things here. So there's a lot of stuff.
Coloniality is a word.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
News to
well,
me. Okay.
differentialization and coloniality.
Like,
Let's
listen, it
make
took
some
me
banners.
5 minutes to try to figure out how to put extraneous in the banner. So, like, yeah.
Okay.
We're lifelong learners too, guys.
So, the one thing that we haven't talked about, friends, is we really haven't been in the class to actually go over the content. We just provided sort of a fake take topic, if you will. But I do encourage you in your classes, you should at least have a chapter to read or some sort of information that I think, see what I'm saying? Like, we're just doing the search based on those words. We don't have the other Hispaniola. We don't have really the content for some of those. Here's another one that came up that we could take a look at just to do a completely different, you could drop me back in the stream on this other screen there, Nicole.
I don't see you there.
But it's
I don't
there.
see your shares there.
Oh, you know why?
Where is it?
Because
Yes.
I'm not
Why?
there. There we go. Wait,
Okay.
is that a completely different page? Where is that page? That's you, Nicole from the library.
Ah!
That's you. You streamed yourself. No
I
streaming.
didn't. You clicked me in.
That's
I
what
don't
it
see your
is.
screen share.
Interesting.
Ross, what do you have pulled up? What do you want me to pull up?
I have Google Scholar pulled up.
Oh, here I see you. Are you ready?
Ah,
now?
there you go.
Here
Perfect.
we go.
Great. So I put in Columbia Peace Accords and current issues with guerrilla groups. Okay. And so what exactly comes up? Well, look at number 2. Colombia struck a peace deal with the guerrilla groups. Hey, that looks kind of like
Yep.
what I put in. Wow. I don't know anything about the topic, but that's kind of what I was looking for. It's February 6th. That's a day before my birthday. This is CNN. It's 2022. That's right where we should be. And then as we're looking down here, we can, wow, what is this? WOLA.org. Now we have a non-for-profit that's actually talking about the peace accord. So this one's starting to look a little bit better in terms of advocacy for human rights in the Americas. So this would be a good, in my opinion, as we continue to read about the about us, our mission, our impact. I'm evaluating this .org. You always want to look at your web domains. WOLA is the leading research and advocacy organization advancing human rights in the Americas. Okay, great. They're probably going to give us some reliable information because why? Because they are advancing human rights in the Americas. All right.
And then Ross, did we want to just pop and work with those keywords in our sample in a database real quick, just to kind of
Sure.
show out? Since we're in the strategic exploration, exploring, trying out different things. Yeah, let's show what it might look like in a database real quick and how it might
Sure.
look in a database.
I have one pulled up. This is a pretty typical EBSCO database. It's Academic Search Complete. But let's say we took this idea that we were looking at. We were doing the same thing.
Here's the
Racialized
prompt. Yeah, here, I'll show it up here.
border violence, and I'm going to drop the between and just say Dominican Republic and Haiti. So like we saw before, it's probably going to find nothing, and it did there. But actually, remember the coloniality thing we saw in Google Scholar? We found that article in our databases too.
Remember, Ross, I put that in my idea bucket, my keyword basket.
That's
So
one of my new words.
So really, the way I would start to look at this is there's a couple things I could do here. I mean, it tells me right off the bat it found nothing. Nothing met my search criteria, which we kind of thought was going to happen because it happened in our other library search too. But one thing I'll start to do immediately is I want to start to look at these subject words, because these subject words tell me exactly how to describe this article in this database. So if I wanted to find similar sources to this article, they're telling me how to describe it. So as we're, kind of picking our keywords out of our topic, this is a great way to go. I can see Haiti and Dominican Republic worked pretty well. But back to, I didn't really see exactly what I was looking for here. So again, we might have to play with some of these keywords. Maybe race is a better word. And what we need to do in a database is, because these are built for researchers. Researchers tend to be really picky about what they want. We have to be very precise in a tool like this. It's not like Google with the "did you mean?" If we type something in here, it's going to try to find those words in that order. So if I was to go in here, I might have to break this apart. And as silly as this sounds, the way you do that is you add the word "and" to it. So I could say race and border and violence and Dominican Republic and Haiti. And again, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I'm telling the database I want an article that talks about all of those things, but not necessarily right next to each other. And when I search that, I'm hoping I find something useful here. I still didn't. But I can start to dissect this a little bit. I say, okay, well, they're using border crossing. Maybe the border doesn't even necessarily matter here. Maybe I really just want to look at race and violence and so on. But that's how you can start to iterate on your search. I'm still finding nothing.
Right. Take it back, jump over here. So when I looked at that video, remember before? So Nicole, if you drop him out and then come back to me, that video that we looked at before. So I wasn't happy. I did border violence, Dominican Republic and Haiti. Ross a moment ago said maybe we don't need border, but then I jumped back in and I said border.
No.
But as I've been saying, my friends, we don't really understand the context of what's going on. We haven't read the chapter. We're not in the class. We weren't there for the professor's lectures. Aha. So here's where the library databases can come into play. So for that, we take a look at this video that I wanted to look at. And this gives us a lot of information as soon as I pop it open here. And as we look down, what's the thing? And I'm going to pop it. And it's happening, and I'm clicking it.
Happening?
I've clicked it 100 times. I've clicked it.
Oh my gosh, it's gonna pop up like 800 windows.
It doesn't know how to click the button.
I'm clicking it. It's happening. Okay, great. Okay, so here we go. So a little bit of a hiccup. Sorry about that. Now, as we're taking a look here on the island, once again, here's our Hispaniola. Two worlds face each other. Haiti to the west. This is pretty good in terms of giving us a description that I think can help us, because take a look at the last sentence. As long as the Haitian economy is devastated, the tension-filled border situation will continue. Now, that is from 2004, okay? And I'm highlighting it up here on top. So a lot of stuff could have gone down. But again, I'm seeing border. Dominican Republic was former Spanish colony. Here's border. So I need to read, and this is where I would work with the student. I'm sure Nicole and Rossi would be the same thing, of what have you already learned about this story? What's going on? And then, as you were mentioning before, Ross, here's some other subjects. Oh, boundaries.
Yeah.
Dominican Republic boundaries, economic condition, and social
border,
condition.
boundaries,
It's
synonyms.
almost, yeah.
That's
So it's almost like a
great
quiz,
example.
right?
I'll put that in my ideal basket.
So it's kind of like that. And so when we click on it, what are we going to come up with now? And now we're getting that video. That's the only video.
That's the only source.
That's it.
That's it.
Well,
But, you know,
all right.
Yeah, there's what. So what would we in this case? Oh, I wanted to find out. So according to dictionary.com, coloniality is the state or condition of associating in colonies. So that's your coloniality.
Okay.
What I would probably do is I would probably go back. Oh, I have to.
Wait a minute. Noun, animal behavior.
Wait, what
What
just
does
happened?
that mean? Up there by the definition.
In the
Is
definition.
it only for animal behavior? I'm really confused. Wow, this is just like, oh, it's that old thing. Now we have more questions and answers. So this is the Life of a Librarian. Thank you for going on this journey with us today.
I appreciate it. Thank you
We've
so
learned
much.
a lot. The learning, it doesn't end, people. It keeps
never
going.
ends.
Their questions keep coming and coming and coming. That's what it's all about, right?
So yeah, as we're wrapping it up here, seminolestate.edu/library. As we took a look, we want to make sure that we're looking at the prompt, but we're coming up with select keywords. We had a half hour of fun. We hope your research is just as fun. I'm not sure if we found anything yet, but we do know that the clock is ticking. Our assignment is due soon. So make sure to reach out to a librarian, and we could go through this process with you. It is a process. Research is a process. Have patience. Have a good meal beforehand. Have some good music you're listening to. Get into your sports.
Yeah, get nourished. Oh, yeah. The coaches are going to tell you to get nourished.
That's
all
right. That's right. Okay. Thanks. Information, Jason. I'm out.
All right. See you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, all.